My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the SH Figuarts Star Wars The Force Awakens Kylo Ren. Now here we have Kylo Ren in the packaging. Future apologies in case I sound a little off. It's because I'm coming down with something, and yeah, that sucks. Hopefully I'm fighting it. But here we have Kylo Ren in the packaging, and you can see he's in this really nice window display box. I ordered him off Big Bad Toy Store, and supposedly he is supposed to be substandard packaging, and what that means is that the box is damaged and there's flaws in it. But as I'm looking at it right now, the only flaws I really see are like the tape isn't as nice as other Figuarts figures I've encountered. There's a little ding right here and right here in the box, but other than that, I don't see too many things wrong with this box. Of course, it'll have the normal shelf wear, but that's what all boxes have. But like I said, here we have Kylo Ren displayed in this really nice window display packaging. It's a Star Wars SH Figuarts on the front. On the side we have this really lovely image of the figure itself. And then on the back of the packaging, more images of the figure. I can't wait to actually get this guy out in hand. And it looks like they did change the lightsaber. It looks like a brighter or a darker red here. This one looks kind of pink right now. But anyway, enough about the packaging. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get them opened up, and we'll go on to the rest of the review. So sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Kylo Ren posing out of the packaging. Now before we get on to the figure, let's actually go on to his accessories, because he does come with quite a few. And what I'm going to do now is get him off screen so we can move on to his accessories. Like most SH Figuarts figures, Kylo Ren does come with some extra hands, and he actually does come with 3 additional pairs of hands, and he has these style pose hands, or relaxed pose hands, I guess you can say. He does come with these hands meant to hold his lightsaber, and we're actually going to show what that looks like in hand. He also does come with his open hand, which we can only assume he's using the Force, or, well, I don't want to say any spoilers, but he's using the Force. So that's pretty nice. He does come with a pair of each hand, so in total he has 4 pairs of hands, so you can get him in a lot of nice poses. Like I said, he has these hands, the Force grip hands, and then the lightsaber grip hands if the camera will focus. And in addition to the fist hands that he has on right now, I will show you what they look like, and they're just a simple swap out. But those are the hands he comes with. Let's actually move on to his lightsabers. The first lightsaber he comes with is one that is unignited, and if you really wanted to, you can take one of the lightsaber holding hands and slide it into his hand, although it's not the easiest of things to do because he does grip it kind of tight, but when you get it in there, he holds it pretty well. I said you do get one unignited lightsaber, and let's actually get that out of his hand so we can go on to some of the detail. Superb detail on the lightsaber handle for a 6-inch figure. This is a phenomenal amount of detail on it. You can see it has a little red cord, the red pommel, the little ignition, which I'm guessing is right here. You can even see what looks like venting, or the ignition part of the lightsaber has detail in it, so that's really phenomenal. Aside from this lightsaber, we do get this one. And if you think it's the exact same one, it kind of is. It's unignited, but it does have a peg right here, so you can actually peg this onto his belt. So you can have him wearing the lightsaber at his side, just in case you don't want him displayed holding it. I don't know how I'm going to display mine yet, honestly. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come here, but he does come with this lightsaber. And of course, he does come with the ignited lightsaber. And again, phenomenal details on this lightsaber. You can see the little cross guards coming out, and then you can actually see that the blade is sculpted, and it's not smooth like all the other lightsabers that you would expect. Just like all the other Kylo Ren figures, he does have this really gnarly flamey lightsaber looking blade. And just for a comparison really fast, let's actually bring out the Hasbro lightsaber. And as you can see, detail-wise, it's night and day between the two handles. Let's actually zoom in on that. It is night and day between those two handles. You can obviously tell that this is Hasbro and then this one is SH Figuarts. The blade on here is actually darker than the Hasbro blade. Although I kind of like that the Hasbro one is a little thinner here, but then I also like the fact that this one is like flaring out, and that's a little more accurate to the movie. They both do have the red pommel at the bottom, so they have some similarities and obvious differences. I do like the fact that the crossguard is pointier coming out, because that's how it was in the movie. These are a little more rounded, as you can see. But anyway, he does also hold this lightsaber pretty well, and like I said, I'm going to show that off in a little bit, but it just slides into his hand. Word of caution, don't force it in like this, because you might accidentally snap this piece, so like wiggle it in from up here, and don't ever try like forcing it from the blade, because chances are putting too much pressure on this will snap it. And trust me, you do not want to find a replacement for this figure. But anyway, those are his accessories, so let's actually move on to the figure itself. So here we have Kylo Ren, and as you can see, I do have him with the lightsaber at his side. This isn't really much of a spoiler, but the lightsaber is actually on the wrong side. Kylo Ren wears his lightsaber on the right side, so a little mistake, and it's not as easy to fix as you think, because the belt isn't the same on both sides. There's actually some grooves that go with it. But anyway, let's get a good 360 of this guy. Really, really well done figure, I'm going to say that. There are some things I don't agree with, some things that could have changed, but let's actually go on to some of his detail first. And to do that, let's get a close-up of his helmet. And there we go. If you can see that in his visor, let's actually see if I can't get a closer view of that. In his visor, it is actually textured in his helmet. That's actually the way it was in the movie. That the helmet, or the eye panel on his helmet has texture. A really, really huge, like, they didn't have to do this with this figure. They could have left that like a solid black, but actually putting the detail right there, that actually brings it, says a lot about the care that was given into this figure. Let's move the camera out a little. His hood I have a problem with. It does seem a little oversized. As you can see, there's plenty of room in here. If I squish it, you can actually see it. But he does have a fully detailed helmet, and I'll show that off in a little bit. His little scarf piece is a separate piece. The hood is not connected to anything. It's a free-floating piece as well as the scarf. So if you really wanted to, you can pop his head off and remove the scarf. And like I said, I'm going to show that off in a little bit. You can see all the details on the scarf are like really there. You can see the tattered edges. Just phenomenal detail. And then that detail carries on to his cloak, all the way down to his legs, where you can see his boots. Something I do want to point out is that he is also wearing this skirt piece, which is accurate to the movie. So really impressed by the amount of detail that went into Kylo Ren here. Even the gloves have like this sheen to them, where his shirt has this matte finish, and then it is this little, I don't know what they're not stripes, they're actually raised patterns. But let's actually get his head off so you can see what I'm talking about detail on the helmet. And here we have Kylo Ren without the scarf piece and without the hood. Like I said, they are separate pieces. If you want to take them off, you just pop his head off at the neck and then pop it back on. It's a little tricky to get off and on with the cloak on, but pulling it off without it, it's really easy. Like I said, his helmet is fully detailed. The only thing it's missing are the silver scratches on it, But other than that, you can actually see the dings and battle damage in his helmet, so that's always good. A detail that is always missing from Kylo Ren is that his hair should be poking out from the back, but it's not a huge deal, and I'm not going to nitpick the figure. Just, it would have been nice to see like some hair coming out of the back of his helmet. But still phenomenal looking figure, and what I'm actually going to do now is get a quick side-by-side comparison so you can compare this figure with the Black Series. I'm actually going to put his scarf and maybe his hood back on so you can get a good idea of what they look like together. So, one moment. And so here we have the Hasbro Kylo Ren posed next to the SH Figuarts Kylo Ren, and as you can see, there are a lot of similar things about them being the same character, but there's also things that I like on one versus the other. I do like the amount of detail that went into him. I kind of like the soft goods. It actually is better for posing, and I'll get more into that when we go over his articulation. But the amount of detail that they put into this Kylo Ren far surpasses this one. This is actually a first issue Kylo Ren. They actually reissued him where there's more detail on the scarf, but for another time, I guess. But yeah, one thing I do like is that this Kylo Ren, since the hood and scarf are two separate pieces, you can actually have it accurate. This Kylo Ren, the hood is actually part of the cloak, so removing the scarf should actually remove the hood, but it doesn't actually do that. Kind of like the fact that the hood can be draped over his helmet, where this just kind of sticks up. Like I said, there's a few things that each one does right, and a few things that I wish could have been done better on both of them. But speaking of articulation, let's actually get him situated so we can actually go on to his articulation. He has a ball jointed head. He can look up, down, left, and right and do a full 360. You see he does have that ball hinge, which gives him really nice up and down movement. If he's wearing the hood, he will lose a lot of up and down movement in his head, just letting you know. His neck is actually on a ball joint, so his neck can rock back and forth, side to side. His neck also rotates, although most of the rotating is going to be done right here at the helmet. His arms are on a ball hinge socket system, which means he actually got full range of motion in his shoulder. You can see there is a butterfly joint right here. It provides some up and down movement right here. And then his arms, since they're on a ball joint, do go out. They do a full 360, and mine is like really tight, so forgive me about that. But yeah, that ball joint system really helps with posing. He has a double jointed elbow, which you get a little better than 90 degrees. Let's see if I can't get this elbow to bend better. So yeah, a little better than 90 degrees. He spins right here at the shoulder, which is okay. It's not great, but at the same time it could have been much worse. He has a ball hinge wrist, so you can see you can turn his wrist, hinge it in and out, side to side. Really great movement there. His torso is on a ball joint, so you get a lot of fluid movement. And that actually does bring me to my next point, that while his upper torso is on a really nice ball joint, his lower torso is also on a ball joint, but it is tighter than the top one, so it does, you can hear that creaking, just really terrible. But you can have him lean side to side, ab crunch, swivels back and forth. Really nice movement there. His robe is actually can swivel, but it only swivels so much, so it can get out of the way for some of the articulation, but other than that, you're not going to get too much play out of this. And then his skirt piece right here is not hinged, it's just there. Let's actually go on to his legs. His legs can move out, forward, and back. He also does drop at the hip, so you can get better range of movement at the legs. He swivels at the thigh. He has a single ball joint at the knee, which could swivel if it really wanted to, but the joint on mine is pretty tight. And like I said, the only part that's really hindering his articulation is the skirt piece, because the robe does actually move off to the side if you really wanted to, as you can see. But yeah, knee joint, no swivel in the boot, but he does have a ball jointed ankle, which you get a lot of nice rotation there. It swivels, rocks back and forth. Not as much movement side to side as I would like, but you can still get him in a lot of nice poses. And toe hinge, which works pretty well. You're not going to bend his toes too far, but they give you enough range that you can get him posed dramatically. So that's Kylo Ren for you. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, then we'll wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. So here we have Kylo Ren posed for my final thoughts, and overall, I have to say I'm really impressed with this figure. I do recommend him if you're a fan of Star Wars and if you are a die-hard fan of Star Wars. Let me explain the reason why I say that. I ordered mine off BigBadToyStore.com, which he is up for pre-order at the time I'm making this video. His pre-order is going for $94.99. With shipping, it will cost you either $100 or more depending on the type of shipping you use. Now, do I recommend him? Like I said, if you are a die-hard fan of Star Wars and if you like the character and if you must have this guy in your collection, by all means, drop the cash for him. However, if you're looking at this from a collecting standpoint and you plan on selling him, it's a gamble because we don't know if his value is going to go up or down, and $100 to drop on a single figure is a tough pill to swallow. I actually found myself contemplating for, I think, 2 days whether I should ship him out or not. I finally decided I should. Got my Christmas bonus, so that kind of made my decision. But like I said, if you really have to have this guy in your collection, go ahead and pick him up. He does have some problems with posing, seeing as how his robe is soft plastic, but it's not soft goods, and it doesn't have a hinge. His hood seems a little oversized, could have been a little smaller. But he does come with a lot of nice accessories and a lot of display options, so if you really want the figure, by all means, go ahead and pick him up. And this is King of Dragons 5000 saying, don't forget to check out all my other figure reviews. Subscribe to my channel. Who knows, I might review something that you're interested in. And if you like what you see, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And comment on stuff that you would like to see me review. If I find a place for it in my collection, I will pick it up. No problem. So, hope you guys enjoyed this review. And I'm King of Dragons 5000 saying, I will see you guys later. Take care, everyone.